WePodcast.com is where you can find more content from We Studios. The We Podcast and the We Studios. It's not a coincidence.
It's
they're
not.
completely direct links to.
I thought we got the website, and then we were
And we
like,
just
"What?
built
We should just
everything
call
around
it."
it.
Yeah. What could WEE be? Worst episode ever.
That's
and
what
also 90s Percentile for some reason.
That's how the Ask Jeeves people did it.
That's true.
It was literally the only domain name they could afford.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't know, some kind of
kind of
search butler service.
E-Butler? Does the internet have an E-Butler yet?
Well, there was eButler was already taken, but
Yeah.
they actually are just a shoe company.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
So, guys, WePodcast.com for all of our previous episodes. You can get everything we're doing there. Sync points, worst episode ever of the podcast, more 90s Percentile. Everything is there. So check it out.
And check out our YouTube page, We Studios.
There's a link to it on WePodcast.com. So you can just go there. It's a one-stop shop for everything. And now it's time for the episode.
Except for cable porn.
Oh. 60 minutes are on the clock, and straight out of We Studios, this is 90s Percentile. My name is Dan.
My name is Jack, and we're talking everything 90s and maybe also everything before and after.
And we are here in studio once again with a new guest, a first-timer, a first-time, long-time for 90s Percentile. We have Cara McIlwaine is here. How you doing, Cara?
I'm great. Great to be here.
Great to have you
Great to have you, yeah. Thank you.
Cara, you work for PR and marketing for Wine Enthusiasts?
Yes, I do. I work
Okay.
in PR for Wine Enthusiasts, the magazine and the catalog.
Oh.
Great holiday wine accessories.
A double threat. Yeah. Now, would you say you're very enthusiastic about wine?
Yeah, that's a fair
Okay.
assessment.
Do you guys have like
but
a...
I'm equal opportunity, beer, liquor.
There you go. That works, too.
Is there like a rivalry to like, is there like a wine aficionado?
Are you in Cat Fancy, like in a never-ending hate
Well, I
spiral?
know like another wine.
Cat
themed-
Fancy closed. We shut them down.
What?
I guess all cat ladies
Why
drink
have I
wine.
been paying for my subscription all these months?
Well, Wine Enthusiast, the magazine, has really great food and travel content too. So it's really good lifestyle content. I mean,
Okay.
check it out.
Check it out.
We should probably save this conversation. We were talking earlier about how I'm just terrible with wine. I drink it with ice cubes.
You like nutty
Yes.
wine. Well, actually, to get to that, just a quick plug. Many Americans drink their red wine too warm. So you're not wrong at
What's
all.
the proper temperature? Room?
No, lower
saw that movie.
than room. Like you want to drink your white wines, you can drink white wines straight from the fridge. Although that's not entirely true. I'm not a wine expert.
Yeah.
I'm not. I work with wine experts.
So we have a wine expert, Cara, here.
The greatest expert
So
of
tell
wine.
us all about nutty
The
wines.
a neat trick I just learned that you can remember drinking. The lighter it is, the colder. So if it's a lighter red wine, drink it colder, like 50 degrees.
That's
or
so I
something.
know you're not a wine expert, and I don't want to put you on.
I've worked in wine and spirits for many years.
Right, but I don't want to
Okay,
put you on the
okay.
spot. But like, is there something to the argument? And I'm not necessarily playing this argument. I'm playing devil's advocate. But is there something to the argument like, well, if it tastes good to me, who are you to tell me how I'm drinking it wrong? Like
Absolutely.
For instance,
Yeah, do what you want.
So I drink it with ice because I drink everything ice. I don't like. I need everything I drink.
I hate ice
If I have
so much.
Oh no, I need everything. Any liquid that goes into my mouth has to be ice cold.
No
That's why
way.
I don't give blowjobs
No
because there's no
way.
ice. You can't.
That's
you,
why, huh?
You can't put ice in the.
I've
in
been
the ceiling.
trying for years.
No, like
Little
right
did I know I needed ice.
Like right now, I'm drinking my iced coffee that I made. Like I make hot coffee and I make ice cubes made out of coffee and I
Yeah.
put them in.
Oh, that's
Which
a
is
good
smart.
idea.
Yeah.
That's a smart
Well, I
tip.
started doing decaf ice cubes because you've listened to the show, but yeah. So I drink that ice, and I didn't drink red wine because I like cold beverages, so I only drank white wine, and I really am not crazy about white wine.
Stick a red wine in the fridge
So,
and let it
no,
come
my-
out
my
for an
stepmom,
hour,
yeah,
and then try it that way.
My stepmom, I saw her drinking with ice, and she puts seltzer in it. She makes red wine spritzers.
I know people who
and
do
I was
that,
just
yeah.
like, you could do that. And
Yeah,
she's like,
that's the
fuck
thing.
it, who cares? Just do it. And she changed my life.
Don't do it with like good wine, but if you're
Who
buying
cares?
like
I mean, historically,
buying, like,
everybody
Trader
was
Joe
watering
wine.
their wine.
Right.
I mean,
I don't.
back in the day.
Yeah, I don't drink good wine. I can't
Yeah.
afford it. But if I did have a good wine,
You should. That's why you should check out Wine Mag's.
but if
Best
I had a
Buys.
good wine, yeah, I'm sure it tastes better, the right way than a bad wine does the right way. But if it still tastes better to me with ice cubes in it and maybe a little,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say go to like Danielle and order a red wine and say, "Excuse me, ice
right.
cubes."
No. If I'm in a restaurant, if I'm in like a really nice restaurant, I know how to play the game. But like
You better.
when I'm at home,
Like an
with, in the dark with my underwear on inside out, I'm going to drink wine the way I want to
I have
drink
an
it.
85 Rothschild and put a couple of ice cubes in the glass.
I like
You do you. It's your money.
So
Yeah,
I
you
know.
do whatever the hell you want.
But I also see the argument for, no, we're telling you it's wrong for the right reasons, and you should
Well,
do
how
it.
about like we're telling you why this is optimal?
Yeah.
That's-
Well, I think wine. I know a little bit about wine. I'm not an enthusiast, but wine is traditionally a very snooty and like aristocratic type thing. So it's like, oh yes, you should do it this way.
Unless you're a wino.
Well, but nowadays, like wine is much more mainstream, I guess. Like normal people drink wine and know
you can
about
buy it
wine.
at Costco. Not
Yeah.
not in New York State, but
Oh, really?
Right.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
There's
hop
no-
over to Jersey.
there's no wine in grocery
Yeah,
stores
right,
in New
right,
York
right.
State.
Right. Don't be
Yeah.
fooled by that crappy wine they
Chateau
sell at
Diana.
CVS. Yeah, I've done that.
I don't know. I guess every passion or every hobby, whatever you want to call it, I guess they have their group of people who take it too
course.
seriously. I don't know.
I mean,
I
look
guess
at
my
beer.
my question is the stereotype more true for wine than it is for other
Well,
things? There certainly is for craft beers too.
Yeah, for sure. People get crazy about craft beer.
I get so mad when people talk shit about Budweiser because
I hate Budweiser. So
Yeah,
let's
like-
get into it.
like it's not supposed to taste. It's not supposed to be a crazy fancy beer.
I know.
There's a perfect night for Budweiser. Yeah, we had Bud when we were recording our last episode. 90s%.
I was already drunk at that point, so that's when it's time for Budweiser.
No, I like a good Bud every once in a while.
I think I guess Miller. No.
Oh, no,
I
that's
actually
wrong.
I
That's
actually
wrong.
really like Miller
I'm just
High
kidding.
Life and Pabst Blue Ribbon. If we're talking cheap beers,
I've lost my taste for Pabst.
and Rolling Rock.
I've lost
too.
my taste for Pabst.
If
I
you
like
were in
Rolling Rock's fine.
Michigan, Shorts Soft Parade is my go-to.
Okay, never heard.
You
it,
should work
but-
for beer enthusiasts.
I
It's the ice cube. hurt my
Jack hit himself with an ice cube. Poetic justice. That's why I hate ice
bleeding?
cubes. By the way, let me see. No, you're
No.
good. You're all right.
Oh, that's a weird sound in the.
It is. We love to make disgusting noises. We eat bologna sandwiches. We eat cannolis.
We want to
Cupcakes.
attack all the
Can I-
senses.
Yeah,
I just like to say, for actual wine knowledge, that's good. The
Yeah.
people I work with, the editors, are great for that. The
There you
sales
go.
staff.
Okay, they know what's
Okay.
up.
All right, so we
I-
should definitely check out Wine Enthusiast.
WineEnthusiast.com.
Check out the podcast. Check
yeah.
out the website.
Yeah, check out the winemag.com /podcast.
Winemag.com/podcast.
You know what the editors are drinking and
Sure.
cool stuff like that.
All right.
All right, should we start recording?
All right. Oh, what? We're already 6 minutes in. All right. So, Cara, you are a guest. And as you may know from listening to an episode or two of 90s Percentile before, it is your right to choose our first topic. Or you can go into our random topic generator where we have many, many topics suggested by our listeners. They can do that at wepodcast.com or 90spercentile.com, which will just take you to wepodcast.com.
But don't just tweet at us directly
tweet
and
at
give
us.
us a suggestion because
At-
we're too busy to do anything to it.
Don't write us a fancy letter and mail it to us. We will not open it.
By Autogyro.
Yes. So it's up to you. Do you have a topic that you want to talk about?
I was hoping today we could talk about Super Mario World.
Oh, man. Super Mario
Wow.
World. Okay.
Wow, that's great. Well done.
Before
Great
we
topic.
before
Shout
we get
out
into
to
it
my
again.
husband.
Before we get into this, can you say the title of the game again?
Yeah, you did do it wrong.
Super Mario World.
Super Mario World.
Super
Oh no, I
Mario.
thought because it sounded like you said Super Mario Worlds.
No, I'm saying this is a long-standing
It's Mario.
debate
It's not Mario.
between me
It's
and my
Mario
wife.
World.
It's Mario.
It's Mario.
It's Mario.
Well,
It's Mario.
your wife's with me, right? Mario World.
Here's the
She's-
thing.
She says Mario.
Well, she's foreign, but
Which
she's
is
right.
Well, here's the thing, and my dad brings this up too because my dad's very Italian, and he says, "Look, technically, even it's ridiculous we're getting it wrong because we're all Italian in
Right.
New York, and it's
Super
and it's a
Mario.
Brooklyn name, and Mario is objectively the right answer, but it's Mario.
It's Mario because that's how Italian Americans say it.
Yeah. Well, what is it? How do they say it either in the cartoon
It's
or in the
me,
movie?
Mario is how
Well,
he says it in
Mario,
64.
but that's a French guy.
Right.
The guy that does Mario's
Japan,
voice is some
who I
French,
don't-
yeah, some
I don't-
French
yeah,
guy who
Charles
works in
something
Japan.
or
Yeah,
other.
he's wrong.
He's wrong.
No,
I agree.
I'm talking about the Lou Albano show and or the Bob Hoskins
It's
movie.
the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
So it's Mario.
I think so.
Yeah, it's Mario.
Lou Albano says
it's
it.
Super
It's the truth.
Mario Brothers.
There you
Super
go.
Mario
What
World.
drives me crazy when I went to NYU and then when I worked in various places in New York City is
Yeah.
when people tell me I'm saying things wrong.
Yes,
because
I
I have
know.
a New York accent and I'm like, I didn't fucking move to bumfuck
That's-
wherever.
that's why
you
I
moved
get
to
angry.
New York.
I
You
get
moved,
angry
yeah,
about it.
No, you moved to New York. You're wrong.
Yes.
I'm right.
So I apologize for hijacking the topic right away, but you said it the
Nope,
quote
that's-
correct way.
This is
and
the
I
most
just,
passionate
I
we've
knew-
ever gotten on
I
this
knew
show.
we were gonna get into this.
It's
Mario.
important. It's
Let's clear the deck right away. It's Mario. We're gonna say Mario. You can say Mario if you want,
Mario Kart.
but we're gonna
Mario
kind of
Tennis.
judge you for it. So let's get
so-
into it. Super Mario World for SNES,
Yeah,
the
it's-
launch title.
Let's explain
Yeah.
it to our younger audience who has
Sure.
who don't they like
Once
is that
upon a
is that the one
time.
from Mario Kart? Is that Rainbow Road?
Yeah, so Mario as a character kind of got his start on before the Nintendo.
It was Jumpmon.
Jumpmon, that's right. The famous reggae hero. But Super Mario Brothers is kind of where he came to prominence. Huge game on the NES, and then he had Super Mario Brothers 2 and Super Mario Brothers 3, which was an enormous game.
So
on
Super
the
Mario
NES.
Brothers 3 was probably the first console game to be its own legitimate blockbuster. Sorry,
Right.
Basically, like now you have a game like Grand Theft Auto 4 or 5 come out, and people talk about how it shattered financial records. It made the
Right.
most money in a weekend, like the way a movie box office.
The kind of game that people buy consoles to
wait
play.
in line to buy it.
Yeah.
Super Mario 3 was like the first to
The
really
first
do that.
mega huge game.
Super Mario World was the follow-up to Super Mario 3. A lot of hype to live up to.
Yeah.
We'll get into this.
It was originally supposed to be called Super Mario Brothers 4.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. And they never did a 4. So we can get into this. The version I want to talk about 3 versus World, but a lot of people say World really was it lived up to the hype. It did better than 3.
I would say that Super Mario World is the perfection of Super Mario
Exactly.
3.
That's where
They took it and evolved it, and it's Super Mario World, one of my favorite games of all time. I think it's completely perfect in every way.
So, and a lot of people agree with you.
It's the Mary Poppins of video games. It really
It
is.
It's a British woman that flies by umbrella.
There's got to be a Mario World level where he uses an umbrella to fly around.
I don't know. He can turn into a tanuki.
Yeah,
that's something he does.
That's the squirrel thing. That's the
Yeah.
official
Was that World?
name for the
That was
squirrel.
3 actually,
Yeah.
but yeah.
So,
Tanuki
all right.
suit.
So I've played. So I never had a Super Nintendo growing up. I had an NES.
Really?
Yeah, I had an NES and jumped right to Nintendo 64.
Okay.
Super Mario 3. I'm really torn what my favorite Mario game is. It's either 3 or 64. I think, to me, 64 might be the perfection of the Mario universe, but there's something to be said about 2D side-scrolling.
I feel like it lost something a little bit in the move to 3D.
So
but
I'm
continue.
not going to argue that 3 is better than World, because I think nostalgia is playing a part here. The fact that I've played World, I played most of it. I'm terrible at video games. I never beat it. But I didn't get a Super Nintendo until late high school. And
What?
Yeah, I bought one for my friend for $10. He gave it to me for $10, and then his dad beat him because he was so pissed he gave away this expensive thing for $10.
I was about to say, what a great deal. And then you said his dad beat him. Yikes.
Not in the face or anything, just where
Okay,
where
just,
they,
where they can't see it.
And he was
getting dark.
He could be. Sometimes he was a nice guy. So anyway, the World. So I've played World. I get it. I never played it for the hours and hours and hours and hours and hours you do when you're really little and you have no responsibility.
Oh my God.
So to me, 3 is better, but I get why World is probably better.
Super Mario World was my life for
Yeah.
a time when I was 6 or 7 years
Yeah,
old, and
it
it was
was.
just incredible. Kara, it's your topic. I want to know what your connection with Super Mario
Well,
World is. Like, what's your feelings on the game?
I have an older brother, 6
Okay.
years my senior, so we had ColecoVision and all that, and
Okay,
we
sure.
had the regular Nintendo, but the Super Nintendo, like you, I'm roughly your age,
Yeah.
and that was the first console I felt like I really was playing.
Sure.
And I guess, so it was like 1990.
1990 is when it came out, yeah. And Super Mario World, we should say, was the launch title. It came bundled with the Super Nintendo. So you got it if you got a Super Nintendo.
And I think even though I still look back, I think it was more like a boys' game, but Yoshi was so damn cute.
Yoshi was great. Game changer.
And it's less of a
He could
boys.
eat enemies.
And at least
was-
it's less of a boys' game than like Doom.
Yeah, it's
or-
not like
Yeah.
what's the one with Snake? The
Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear.
yeah, it's not like it was a universe like the cartoony. It was unisexy,
Right. Well, it's
I-
interesting that you say that. I've never thought of Mario as a boys series because it is kind of like cartoony.
That's
and
because you're a white
fun.
man who's lived in a white man's
Well,
world.
I was gonna. You're right. That is true. So I'm interested to hear your perspective from that.
But I don't think I really thought of it that way when I was little. I loved
Right.
that in this game you didn't just fight Bowser. Like Bowser suddenly had all these kids and they were
Yeah, the Koopa
crazy.
Kids.
They were
They were
fun.
in Super Mario 3.
There
were
was
in
like
3.
Wendy Koopa. I mean,
Yeah.
I still love Wendy Koopa. I'm glad
Yeah.
that you can play as her in one of the future Mario Karts that exist.
Oh, really?
They got rid of the Koopa Kids. Like at some point in the 90s,
They replaced it with those
it with
horrible
Super-
baby
baby
Bowser.
I hate
Super
the
Mario
babies.
Sunshine.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know
Baby
why the
Bowser.
Koopa Kids were so great, and I'm gonna try and name them right now.
Okay.
So
Do it.
get ready for that.
Do it.
Wendy Koopa, you already said. There's Iggy Koopa.
I know Iggy.
Morton Koopa Jr., which was the kind
So
of
does
the,
that mean,
the weirdest one.
that our Koopa, the main Koopa, his real name is Morton
I
Sr.?
guess. Roy Koopa was
Yes.
one of them.
Yeah.
There was one with crazy eyes.
Oh.
But
oh.
maybe that was Iggy.
No, there's. I think there's another one that's not Iggy, but also has like a mohawk.
Yeah. There was. It
There's
was the
also
first,
like classical music.
Yes, Ludwig von Koopa. Yes, that was one. I'm gonna look it up because I can't remember the one with the blue
So the Koopa
mohawk.
Kids are. I don't really remember much of Super Mario World. I guess I haven't played it that
They
much.
each had their own, essentially like a continent in the
Yeah.
world.
That's cool.
That they were
That's like a
kind of lording
dystopia. They
over.
basically took over the Mushroom Kingdom, huh?
It was like a totally new world. Like I don't remember why Mario.
It's not Mushroom Kingdom?
It's
It's Dinosaur World or something, right?
it's like Yoshi's Kingdom and all the.
Because I remember the post-classic episodes of the Super Mario Brothers cartoon started going into it transitioned from the Super Mario trilogy to the Super Mario World.
Yeah. It was Larry Koopa was the one I couldn't
That's
remember,
right,
and
'cause-
Lemmy Koopa was the other
Lemmy.
one.
Yeah, Lemmy had the eyes. He was like,
yeah.
Is he named after Lemmy? It's got to be,
Probably.
right?
I
There's
think
no
it-
other Lemmys.
Yeah,
were there?
I think it was all musicians, or I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Iggy.
Wendy.
Pop,
It says, except for Larry, each Koopaling was named after a specific person.
Ludwig.
Wendy O. Koopa.
Oh,
That's what her name was.
Who's Wendy who, though? Is she a musician?
Yeah, I
Because
don't
they all do seem to be kind of rock stars. Iggy Pop,
little bit.
Beethoven.
Ludwig had like
I don't-
blue hair, and he was.
Yeah.
He was a really hard boss because like the levels were like underground or in a mountain or something.
The dungeons.
I'm on the Wikipedia page for the Koopalings, also the Koopa Kids, and I'm like, oh man, I wish I had a section where it was named after. I'm literally looking at it right now. It was Morton Downey Jr., Wendy O. Williams, Iggy Pop,
Who's
Roy
Morton Downey
Orbison.
Jr.?
Robert's grandfather.
Really?
No, Morton Downey Jr. was a talk show host.
No,
And-
Robert Downey Jr. I guess Robert Downey would be the dad, yeah.
Lemmy was named after Lemmy, and Roy Orbison was Roy Koopa.
Huh.
No, Morton Downey Jr. was a singer and a talk show host.
What are the odds that
Well,
there's another
is Wendy
Downey
O.
Jr.?
Williams the talk show host, or is there a Wendy?
No.
It was named after Wendy
O.
Williams.
was from, I wanted to say the Runaways, but that's not right. Apparently she was the Plasmatics,
Oh.
That's interesting.
and also was in Motorhead, and she is also
What?
dead.
Oh, wow.
So anyway, we're learning a lot about
Pioneer of rock.
about music stars here on 90s Percentile. But the Koopa Kids, they each had their own kind of world, and in Super Mario World,
They didn't have airship climaxes like 3, did they?
there were airships towards
Like
the
at
end
the
of the
end,
game.
yeah.
Yeah. But that the big thing that Mario World brought in was the ghost houses, which
Oh,
were
yeah.
awesome. That was when you would go to basically a haunted house filled with booze,
yeah.
and they always had trick endings and like all
Right,
of this
right,
crazy
right,
stuff. Like Mario World really was kind of the benchmark for secret endings and like secret ends to levels and all these like
Yeah, that's what I remember, like in second grade or something. Kids being like,
Yeah.
"Oh, do you know how to get the secret ending?"
right to get to the Rainbow Road
But
and like
they didn't invent that. They just perfected.
I'm not saying they
because
invented
those
it.
were in Mario 3
Well, it was
too.
like before you could look it up. You can't go now. You could find it on the internet, but
Right.
it had to be like
Yeah.
word of mouth.
It was all word of mouth. Yeah, like if the level is a red dot in Mario World, it means there's a possible second way to finish the level that will unlock something. Yeah, and you can get the what do you call them? The switches, the switch
Yeah,
blocks.
yeah, the
to
green
fill in
and blue
switches that
and-
are just dots.
That
in
can
the
help
earlier
you get,
levels
like,
that help you get
stars
stars. And
and-
stuff.
so much to do.
fancy.
I
There are
really want to
hours
go home.
and hours of gameplay.
I want to go home and just play Super Mario World for the rest of the day now.
I remember not liking. Yeah, so now I'm coming into Super Mario World as like a 16, 17-year-old,
Sure.
having 3 memorized in my DNA and
Yeah.
being completely new to Super Mario World. And I remember not liking the twirl jump.
Oh yeah,
And I was
the-
just like, this, I
That
don't
one.
need this. What
Yeah.
is this?
Oh, that's
This
with
is too
his
much.
feather. No.
So what does that do? What did the twirl
he
jump
could
do?
break blocks, certain types of blocks.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
and
yeah,
he
yeah.
could possibly stun or kill enemies with it. Too.
Yeah, because when he had the cape on, and he could.
Yes, he would
flip
hit.
them
He would
on
like
the-
flip Koopas over.
It bums
Yeah,
me
yeah,
out
yeah.
that I'm like an adult with no free time anymore because now I'm way behind.
Yeah.
Basically, all of these platformers, they nail every single one. Even like Mario Sunshine, which is like a weaker entry, still has
Yeah.
a lot of great
That's a
stuff
hard
in it.
Mario
game.
Sunshine. Yeah, it was tough. I never
and,
beat it.
Like, yeah, I really do like the Super Mario World, the Wii games, the 2D platformer.
Yeah.
they always seem to add these fun little new suits or new techniques, and,
And
I really want to learn
love
them.
all that
I
stuff.
just
Like,
don't
it's-
exactly me
yeah.
too, and I don't have time to do them.
I mean, I had a DS, not the 3DS, but the original DS, and I played like New Super Mario Brothers or New Super Mario World, whatever it was, and it was fun, but it was not quite the same. Like, what I really want is they just came out with that NES. What do they call it? The NES Classic.
Classic, yeah.
Are they going to do a Super Nintendo version of that?
God, I hope so.
They-
'Cause
they-
that I would
They
definitely
weren't
want.
planning on it, but now it's basically the Cool Ranch Taco Bell shell thing,
Sure.
where they're like, the nacho cheese shell is fine, that's all we need to do. But then
Yeah.
everybody's like, well, you got to do Cool Ranch, and
Yeah.
it
Cool
becomes
Ranch
a
is the better
self-fulfilling.
one.
Yeah, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
I mean,
They'll definitely do
the SNES, like that's where you get a lot of titles for the first time. F-Zero,
Sure.
Star Fox.
Star Fox, yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be great to be
Mario
able to play
Kart.
all of these? I really hope they do an SNES classic.
I'm sure they will.
I want to play
But
some Mario World, some Yoshi's Island, Mario World 2.
Oh,
But
yeah.
now we're just rebuying
Classic.
consoles we already had. Like the Wii, if the
but-
Wii had been better with HDMI and HD and stuff, the Wii should have been doing this already because you have all those 30 games and then thousands more on top of that.
True, but it's different because now I don't have a Wii. I sold my Wii a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I still do have my Super Nintendo.
I
could
have it
bust
at my
out.
parents'
Yeah, I
house,
could bust it
yeah.
out and hook it up, but I'm not going to do that. And I'm sure you'll be able to do quick saves and all the new technology things that we have now.
That
Right,
makes
but-
it not as
Not quite as fun.
I mean,
but-
better for me.
No, I like the idea of the classic with the quick saves, the HDMI ready. It's super simple. It's a box. You don't have to carry all these discs and stuff to take up space.
Yeah.
I like all that. I just I don't want a Nintendo and an SNES and a 64. Give me one classic Nintendo,
Like a Nintendo
and I can-
emulator.
Yeah, and basically an emulator that just works better. That's all.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I don't know if
But
that's
they're
ever
not
going to
gonna do
happen.
that.
Are you
no, they're
listening,
gonna make a lot-
Nintendo
no.
executives?
They're probably not.
They're making a lot more money doing it the shitty way they're doing it now.
Miyamoto, if you're listening, please write in.
They're too busy running the Seattle Mariners stadium.
That's their top priority.
Yeah. But
Well,
yeah.
wait a second. I forgot that they own the Mariners. Why? How have they not just renamed the Super Mario the Seattle Marioners? How have they not done that yet?
Marry owners?
The Marioners.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't
And
roll
it
off
works
the
on
tongue.
two levels because they own
And the
They own
Mario.
it.
Marioners have won the World Series.
Also, SNES original title, the first Ken Griffey game that 64 had perfected. Call me Junior. Call me Junior.
Wait, I don't remember the 64 game. I remember the SNES Ken
Oh,
Griffey
the
Jr.
64 Ken Griffey is probably in my top 3 video games of hours committed to. Yeah,
Game.
that
All
was
right,
just
we'll save that for I'm sure that'll come up as a topic then.
love Ken Griffey on 64.
Super Nintendo was the last system I could get. I don't
Yeah.
know when the N64 came out. I'm not sure what leverage I didn't
96,
have.
I guess. 97,
Yeah, it was 90.
maybe?
It was 90. It was 7th grade, so it was late night. It was September 96, I think.
Yeah.
Well, that was like I was going to 8th grade, and I feel like for my bat mitzvah, I couldn't be like, I want it.
Oh man,
N64.
Really?
I have this theory that I bought an Xbox One on Black Friday, and I've been playing it. And the jump from 360 to Xbox One is pretty much not there. It feels like I'm just playing a 360 again, except slight improvements. But basically, now I can play the games that they wouldn't let me play on 360 anymore. And I realize it's basically like the Star Trek rule where every other one is better. So yeah, no, I guess that doesn't work with Nintendo, Super Nintendo. I guess it starts with basically the GameCube was kind of a dud, and the Wii U was kind of.
I
It was
had a
actually great.
GameCube.
I also had a GameCube.
It was.
The
It was.
GameCube had some fun stuff in it.
No, they were all.
Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what?
I mean, Smash Brothers Melee
Yeah,
was like the best.
Melee, Resident Evil 4.
That's
Soul
why I
Calibur.
bought the GameCube.
The dud's the wrong word, but basically, so even with Super Nintendo, I guess. So basically, Nintendo, when you're young, it just blows your mind because it's Nintendo. You didn't even know about consoles before that. I mean,
Yeah.
you had Atari and television, but Nintendo was great. Super Nintendo was really awesome. It was just it was like Super Mario World. It was just a perfection, refined version of the previous.
Yeah.
Nintendo 64, and we'll probably get into this in another episode.
I'm sure we will.
Mind blowing.
Yeah, I mean, because that brings the 3D into the equation.
I wish I could recreate the first 30 minutes of when I first discovered Nintendo 64 in a Sears while my dad was shopping
Right.
for clothes, and I found the sample console, and I played like the first level of Mario, and I was just like, it was like being transported into the Mushroom
new
Kingdom.
dimension.
It was the greatest high I'd ever felt in my life. It's like I'm like a heroin addict trying to chase that high. The closest I ever got to that again was VR for the first time and Xbox 360.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing. The jump from basically the jump from the Xbox One to the Xbox, I've never felt that mind-blowing jump. I did with the 360 to the original Xbox. Like, wow, these graphics are really good.
I'm
This
sure
is
we'll
really
get
cool.
there when VR is kind of perfected. But I want to go back to something you said. You just bought the new Xbox. I myself don't have any game consoles anymore. I have nothing.
So do you own Blu-rays, and what do you watch them on?
I have a Blu-ray player.
You're
An
like
actual
you're like my
Sony Blu-ray
parents,
player.
or-
I'm just like your parents.
I mean, I have
I
Blu-rays.
watch CBS all night.
I have Blu-rays too, but honestly, sometimes I want to watch one of my DVDs or Blu-rays, and I look at it and I'm just like, I don't feel like getting up, opening it up, putting in the thing.
I agree with you there. That's why I'm trying to digitize most of my movies. But anyway, what I wanted to bring up was I don't really play a lot of games, and I don't really care about a lot of the really like popular, intense games nowadays. Like first-person shooters, I like them; they're fun, but I'm not obsessed with them like a lot of people are.
Yeah.
Like all the really realistic graphics and 3D things, I don't need any of that shit.
I need the real. I want it to be
Super
as real as
Mario
possible.
World.
It's like
I
it
want a
takes
game
you
that's
away
fun,
and silly.
that I can pick up and just play for a little while and then put down. There's secrets to unlock, and there's all sorts of like shit I can find.
The reason 360 was almost as mind-blowing to me as Nintendo 64 was the Xbox Live, was the online playing with groups of people. Now, the first time I got a taste for that was meet with you, where we would play on our PCs Rainbow Six.
Yes.
And just the idea of like competing with 12 other people online was such a cool, especially with somebody who had no friends and nobody played video games with.
That's
And
not my type of gameplay.
so like I love first-person shooters, and I love that. The reason I love them now as a 32-year-old is I really wish I could play my old favorite games like Fallout and RPGs and Zelda. I don't have fucking time for that shit. These first-person shooters are pretty much the only ones I can pick up and play for 20 minutes.
Because it's more like a sport almost. Like you're competing with other people.
Exactly.
And
this is me going out after work and playing hockey, except I'm out of shape and I don't want to hurt myself.
Yeah,
so
you're playing,
I'm playing
from your couch.
I'm playing Gears of War and Call of Duty.
There's a place for that. I mean, I don't really have time even for that. But what I do have time is I have commuting time. I got plenty of like downtime there, like to pick something up and just play like Mario. I would love that. Maybe I need to get a 3DS.
Here's the
Maybe
thing.
that's the answer.
Honestly, I really don't enjoy playing games unless I'm playing with other people. And the reason I'm not crazy about Mario anymore, as much as I love Mario, it's not fun if
There's
somebody's
no
either
multiplayer?
watching with me or playing with me or, you know.
Well, in the later games, they're into co-op. But I
But
see
I
your
don't
point. You
have-
have to
I'm
play
not
as
anybody to
Mario
play
or
with, yeah.
Luigi in
Right,
this.
but I mean, even the basic premise, like Mario World, was not a game that you could play with two players.
Well,
like, it's built to be a single-person platformer.
Part of why I liked it is because
Yeah.
I do have a sibling, but we're so far apart in age.
Yeah.
He didn't want to play with me, so I gravitated to a game like this. Also, I could cheat because Game Genie came out.
Oh yeah, Game Genie was a game changer, but that's definitely its own topic somewhere in there.
No, I guess it's just a personal taste that I like playing with other people. I don't mind Super Mario Brothers.
I think I just hate other people. I'm
Well,
learning about
I
myself
tried to play
now.
Little Big Planet with other people, and I
love Little
I
Big
don't know. My husband,
was a
hi
fun game.
Patrick. We have a PlayStation 4. Well, and this was on the 3, and I was trying to type to someone like, "I want to play with you, but I am not very good at this," and they like disconnected, and they were like, "Screw you, you're too slow." And I was like,
God.
"People are
See,
mean."
but that's the other thing is like I don't even get the thrill I get out of playing Call of Duty and Gears of War anymore because it's not fun just even playing with random people. I want people talking to me on my mic set. And I need that.
Well, you
want
wanna, like, hang
You
out
wanna
with
play-
people.
you wanna play
I want
Overwatch.
to hang out with people.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to make any new games. Gears and Call of Duty are my first-person shooter go-tos, but I'm hearing a lot of good things about
Overwatch
Overwatch.
is, watching my spouse lose many hours to it. It's a fun one. They
I'm
all have
thinking
great
about it, yeah.
catchphrases. And
Okay. Now
I'm-
Overwatch is like Team Fortress 2, right? It's the same people who made it.
So yeah.
Yeah.
there's
but
a gorilla.
Okay. I know.
you sold me a gorilla.
I'm so out of the loop when it comes to video games.
But back to what I said is I actually like I don't mind single player games if it's a communal thing. I used to watch my friend play back in the PS1 days Resident Evil 2.
Right.
I wasn't good enough to play. I would just watch him play. And then as I got better, like me and my friend Jeff, we played Resident Evil 4 together, where we would literally just sit there and play together. And if somebody died, we'd hand the controller. If somebody went too long staying alive, we'd pass it. But I was fine with playing a little bit and then watching.
But see, that's a little bit different because then it's almost like it's not so much the game aspect; it's the interactive story, and you both can appreciate the story at the same time.
It's like watching a movie, yeah.
And just trading off like controlling the character for whatever.
That's why I love the BioShock series. That's one of my favorites because I did try and play one, but I'm really good with a wrench. I can't shoot guns in video games. That's a skill I'd like to learn in 2017.
I'm just visualizing you in video game land, just like clumsily walking around bludgeoning people with your wrench.
So I was playing through one, and my husband walks in the room and he's like, "Did you just beat that boss and you never picked up you're supposed to pick up the gun? That's like a key feature of beating this boss."
That's pretty amazing then. That's impressive.
No, my girlfriend likes to watch me play certain video games, but she gets really. There's a game I really like, and I will play it for her, and she's like, "I'm not into this. I don't want to do this."
Yeah.
And the games where she really does get into is the BioShock series.
I watched
and,
him.
Uncharted is the number one. Uncharted is like watching a movie. She could watch me play Uncharted all day.
What do you guys think about those like movie type games?
Love 'em.
Because
I think they're great. They
Uncharted
saved my marriage.
really?
And what's great about those
No, they
games
didn't.
is What I love about Uncharted is it's relatively easy because it is kind of an interactive movie where you just kind of have to hit the buttons at the right time. And that's like where I'm trying to play this game now, Mirror's Edge. It's one of my favorite games from 8 years ago. And I was like telling my girlfriend, I think this is a game you might like to watch. And for me, playing is a chore because it's a tough skill-based game, and I'm like, I got to relearn everything, and I'm tired, and I just came home from work.
And she wants to ask you a question. You're like, shut up! I'm trying to.
It's not fun for me because the thing that we find fun is watching the movie and interacting together.
Right.
That's different from this is a skill time trial type game, and I can't be bothered. I don't want to work right now.
I guess I'm just different from you guys because I don't really like the movie type game because it just feels like I'm watching a shitty movie that's too long.
Well, that's why Overwatch is for you. Because
maybe
they
Overwatch
took all
would be
the
for me.
cutscenes out. You have to go to YouTube and find them for yourself.
Oh, good. That's cool. I like that. I just want to play the game. I want to play a game.
90% of the video games out there now are these cutscene type movie
I know,
games,
I'm
and
not-
they're
I'm
terrible.
not into those.
Oh no, nobody is. They're terrible.
I mean, someone must be the one's buying them.
But the Uncharted series, you're saying it's like watching this bad movie. That's like watching a
Well,
good
no,
movie.
I know. I've heard really good things about Uncharted, but I
or
think
BioShock.
we're talking about Super Mario World, and to me, that is probably my favorite game of all time because that's the perfect game that I can sit down, I can play myself, like I can play just for a little while, I can dip in and out, I could sit there for 6 hours, I could play for 6 minutes, I could beat one level, I could beat the whole game.
That's like me with first person.
And there's things I can figure out. Like I like, there's secrets to unlock.
And
like,
you can try, I want to try beating it, on Yoshi the whole time.
Right, exactly. Like there's
but that's just basically Mario's just a really good platformer. So you like platformer games because there's other great, like Limbo is a great platformer game that has.
I bought Limbo so long ago and I've still never really
such
played
a good
it.
game.
I have it on my phone.
I finally got my gift code that came with my Black Friday Xbox. I'm gonna buy. I think it's called Inside. It's basically the spiritual sequel to Limbo. Yeah,
that's awesome.
But yeah, that's why I love platformers for the same reason.
Sure,
but I do wish sometimes, especially Nintendo games, would be more willing to break the mold. So like I love Zelda, I love Mario, but maybe it would be it almost definitely wouldn't be as good, but at least it would be different to see a Mario game that is like Uncharted or something where it's this ridiculous movie. And
don't you think Majora's Mask is a really different kind of Zelda game?
But it's still it's as different as you can get within the same restricting framework. It's still an RPG where Link doesn't talk, and like what if they completely just made like the Zelda
person.
or the Zelda animated series where Link is like this angsty teenager. He's like, well, excuse me, princess, and like that, like that's
I
the
love
Link.
that Zelda.
But that Zelda has never existed in a single one of the video games. Almost every single Zelda game is pretty much still the same type of Link. Wouldn't that be cool to just see? Or like I know Batman vs Superman is a terrible movie, but like the idea of a almost rated R gritty Batman movie, whereas maybe a cool gritty Zelda game, or a first person Zelda or first person Mario,
or like Ganondorf has won.
Yeah.
Oh, and Zelda's.
He's
in
a
a
rebellion.
post-apocalyptic Ganondorf.
Like just play with and like they do play with the medium and sense
Bowser
that there's
has won. His children run fiefdoms.
There's something that there was something I just watched recently. I was like, this is pretty much Legend of Zelda. Oh, it was God.
It was Legend of Zelda.
It was Legend of Zelda, the animated series. Hey, Zelda, where we going? Gotta get the Triforce over here.
Make sure you get your magic flute.
It was real life. It's the United States of America. After Trump won, I realized it was exactly like when Link wakes up 7 years in the future and Ganon runs Hyrule and everything's horrible. It's like, oh my God, that's like if you were in a coma 6 months ago and you woke up now.
You're telling me we need to get the Triforce of knowledge.
Well, even in the Ocarina of Time, basically, they just go back in time and hit the reset button, which we can't do.
I think that's a Shadow Mario, which is a later Mario character.
Yes,
He's really he's really the dark side of the Mario character.
Definitely.
But he's not the same as Wario.
He's a fucking annoying little character, though.
Shadow Mario, or Mario. What do I say? You just made me say it the wrong way.
I go in and out. Sometimes I say Mario. But Mario's right.
Yeah, Mario's right.
But
I wish they would break the and Mario does break the mold in terms of there's a Mario tennis and a Mario baseball, but
that's totally different. That's more like he's our mascot, and we're making a tennis game.
Even like their foray into apps that's coming out, Mario Run. That's something new, although it's still
Not
the same.
Really, because running apps.
Is it like Couch to 5K with Mario?
I'm so disappointed.
That'd be much better
because I hate running apps. I hate them.
I had remember the Wii, like the Fit. Board?
Yeah, right there.
The balance board.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah.
I love
doing yoga on that thing was a travesty.
Yeah, it didn't work quite as well as
someone who's never
promised.
done non-Wii Fit yoga. I liked it.
It tricked me. I'm not a naturally good at exercising type of person.
Sure. But yeah, I mean,
it tricked me into doing it.
Yeah. I did it for a good while.
I mean, it's not the best workout, but it's more than you would be doing if you were sitting on the couch with a regular controller.
Sure.
So I like that they tried.
But it was a perfect controller too for the SNES. I mean, just simple.
Yeah.
I think the Xbox 360 nailed video game controllers.
Do you have an example of an Xbox 360 controller that we could? Because I think PlayStation was always.
Well, I think it says a lot that the Xbox One is pretty much the exact same.
pretty much the same controller.
They did not reinvent anything.
So, like you can see, so basically, the Nintendo controller was, or let's do it. The NES controller was A, B on
X
the right.
down, start, select, left, right.
Your two action buttons on the left was a D-pad, up, down,
no,
left, right.
You had XY.
Well, no, I'm talking about NES.
NES, yeah.
So SNES, like you said, perfected it because they gave you a little bit more to do. Now you have A, B, X, Y, and you got the bumpers left and right.
Yeah.
So now you got a lot to do. The reason why I think these controllers are better is because joysticks are so much better than D-pad. Nintendo 64 was the first, and they didn't quite nail it. Basically, it was an Xbox controller with a handle, but you had to hold it different ways. And their thinking was every game you would hold it in a different position, but you ended up always holding it the same way.
Right.
Where basically you can't use the entire left side of the controller because the joystick they put the joystick in the middle thinking, oh, let's put a joystick, not realizing it was going to be a game
superior,
changer. So that's why I like the GameCube and the PS, the GameCube generation, Xbox, GameCube, and PS with having the dual joysticks and the buttons. And then I think 360 just kind of put them all in the right spot. I don't even know why PlayStation to this day, PS4,
Thanks. Good visual
they put the
for you listeners out there.
Yeah, like the PS controller is the same except they insist on
I
putting,
really like the PlayStation controller, actually.
They insist on putting the joysticks here, and I think it's much more intuitive to have the left joystick like up where your thumb goes.
I think that might just be because you're used to the Xbox.
Yeah, I think it's
though.
like whatever
I think it makes sense for them to be in the same plane.
Well, here's the thing. How do you hit the D-pad? I guess with your thumb again?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I guess it's the same.
When you have a competitive like Call of Duty player on your podcast, ask him which he
we'll
prefers and
Well,
why.
yeah, that's when you really feel the perfection of an Xbox controller is when you're playing a first-person shooter and every button has a perfect function, or Madden, something like that.
It feels almost designed for first-person shooters, really, because
it has triggers.
It definitely has triggers, but like Halo was really the big Xbox game. That's what moved Xbox consoles. So yeah, it makes sense to kind of roll into that market.
But
it's funny what you said before real quick about the Nintendo controller, how they put it in there thinking like, oh, you'll hold it different ways for different things. I feel like Nintendo does that all the time, where it's like, oh, we're gonna put this cool thing in, and so many people are gonna use it, and then no one uses it.
Sometimes it works. Wii Fit was great when it was there, and the joystick, the Nintendo 64 joystick, sometimes it's terrible.
Like
the robot from regular Nintendo.
Rob the robot. But Wii Fit is a good example because you had this balance board, which could have added a new dimension to a lot of games, but then I don't think anyone made any games for it. Like it was just
that's the problem is they didn't support it.
Right.
The device itself is
well, it's
fine.
like the Sega. I didn't. My family didn't support Sega products.
No, me neither.
Me neither.
But I friends I knew they had it was like a long tube and you could play like shooting games with it.
Well, SNES had the same thing
had
too.
The Super Scope.
Really?
I mean,
I didn't have that accessory.
NES had the light
that
zapper, and then the Super Scope was like a bazooka version of that.
Yeah, much better than a zapper.
I want to go back to the controller though. So you're saying this was designed for first-person shooter, and it's perfect for that, which it is, like Halo and Call of Duty. But don't you think that you could play a great Mario platformer game with this better than a Super Nintendo controller?
Maybe. You
don't
really need a joystick for Super Mario, though.
I don't like the D-pad. I like
I'm not
the
crazy
360
about a D-pad either. Yeah, but I guess just because those were much simpler games, you're not moving in more than one direction. You're going up, you're going left or right. You're not going like in a 360
Was it
degree
one of the
world.
first to like start those like fast you've got to keep moving before the screen?
Oh
cuts
yeah,
you
where
off?
the level is killing
Super Mario
you.
3 started that.
Yeah.
It wasn't
I
in
hated
2.
those. Those were my least favorite.
It's too stressful. That's why I don't like the run games. Basically, I mean, I'm not a mobile gamer. So when I'm playing video games on my apps, it's because I'm really so bored or brain dead on the train or something that I can't even listen to a podcast
This is all you
or
can
read.
muster.
Yeah. And the last thing I want to do is have to pay attention to, oh my God, I got to stop. Especially when you're on the train and you have to make sure when a homeless person comes up and starts stabbing people, you want to...
You got to move to the next car.
Yeah, exactly. So, everyone's...
Good advice.
So I want to be able to take my mind or my fingers off the game and not die.
Yeah.
So I hate running games and I hate those running levels.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Too stressful.
It's just stress. You're just stress.
What do
I like King's Quest. That's the game I'm into now. It's a new King's Quest.
Heard of King's Quest? I don't know what it is though.
Yeah, I didn't think it would be a good topic because it did not have the reach of, say, Myst. Or
Right. Sure.
Is it similar to Myst?
No, not at all. It's like a humorous game.
Okay.
What's the genre? Platform RPG?
It's like adventure RPG. I'm not really good at
I've certainly heard of it.
It centers on like King Graham. Eventually, there's 7 titles in the original series, and King Graham goes on. He's the king of Daventry, and he has,
I remember. Yes, it's like kind of a point and click game,
yeah,
wasn't it? Like
yeah,
back
it
in
was
the day,
a
it
big
was.
PC game.
Yes. I've heard of these. I've never played them, but I know them.
The new one is really fun. Christopher Lloyd is like the elderly King Graham, and it's I don't know. It's done by chapters. It's fun. I'm playing it really slowly, but when I was employed, it was really a great thing to distract me.
I wish they would bring back point and click games from our the original games that we loved so much as a kid and put them as apps, because that's something I would like the Blade Runner. You ever play the Blade Runner game?
Yes, I did. I bought it after you had it. I was like, I have to have this
Well,
game.
I thought that's what like mobile gaming was gonna be.
That's what it should be.
Yeah, it's weird that it's all Candy Crush and running.
I've been really bored lately. I've gotten to the point now where I listen to my Audible and my podcast at 2 times speed, and I'm listening to them, and it's become so habitual that now I'm bored listening to the book. And now I'm like, I need something to do. So now I'm playing video games.
That was always my problem with audiobooks.
Yeah, so now I'm playing video games and stuff, and I can't find. I'm bored on the train. I just need something to do to pass the time, so I'm home soon.
Yeah.
And I looked for Oregon Trail. I was like, let me get a old school Oregon like that. I could play. That'll kill me a couple of weeks, just like playing Oregon Trail. And there's none. There's like these.
That's very surprising.
There's these shitty
There's knockoffs.
There's shitty knockoffs that aren't the same gameplay. Like they made it better, made it more modern. It's like, no, I want
the old ass
because
Oregon
they're
Trail.
so
That would
simple
have so many downloads. That would just.
I want to get dysentery when I
text-based
ford the river.
adventures like
Zork.
Yeah, like Zork. That would be perfect for an app, like where you just type in words in.
You're right. I feel like that's
why
an
are they giving me
untapped
these
market.
shitty bejeweled and running games? Those are like the 2 big genres.
Yeah, for sure.
Give me
or like Clash of Clans. Or...
Yeah, I'm not into any of those because those are like the freemium games where they can bleed you dry.
Yeah, and I don't give them a cent, so they get annoying
I don't
quick.
like any of those games.
There are I did play Civilization Revolution for a very long time on my phone. But
I want to get like Maniac Mansion. You remember Maniac Mansion?
Yeah,
where is that on an app?
When they made such a big deal of Nintendo finally making iOS apps, and it's just like I don't want Tomo, and I don't want Mario Run. Give me just old 8-bit and 16-bit games.
If you could commute and play Super Mario World,
that's what I want.
Yes,
that's exactly what I want.
Because then suddenly you close you get start World 1-1, and then all of a sudden you're at work, and that horrible commute with the homeless guy stabbing people has come and gone.
That's gone. If you can do that on the 3DS, someone write in and let me know, because maybe I'll just buy a shitty 3DS.
I guess that's
and
what
get
it's just.
Mario World.
I see so many gamers on the train playing. I'm just like, what are you doing? Why do you have a $400 portable video game? Like, just put
it's insane.
Phone.
Yeah, I know.
But now
it
I
should
get
be
it
on
because.
the phone.
But now I get it because you're playing. You get to play the games you actually want to play.
Exactly. Like I would buy for Smash Brothers too. I've not played. What's the new one? Melee?
No.
Brawl. There's one after Brawl.
Mega
Wii U.
Ultra Brawl.
I think it's just Wii U.
The one it came out for 3DS. Like I would potentially get 3DS, it for that.
Yeah. But you shouldn't do that because you should be listening to podcasts on your commute.
But I can listen to a podcast while I play that.
Because those don't require as much brain power. Absolutely. I like to have something to look at so that I don't make eye contact.
So how about this? A podcast app, a podcatcher that has a video game tied into whatever you're listening to. So you're listening to 90s Percentile, you're listening to this. It's like you want to play Super Mario World while you're playing this? Or we're talking about Britney Spears. It's like, you want to play Britney Spears World while you're playing this?
Britney Spears World. I would play that.
Does she have like Kim Kardashian?
I'm sure she does.
It's probably in the works if not.
Can you cut that? I didn't want to say that person's name ever in public.
We cut nothing on this.
We cut nothing.
Now everybody knows you love Britney Spears and Kim Kardashian.
Britney, sure, but
Kim Kardashian, not so much.
I do not.
Do you think Kim Kardashian played Super Mario World?
No, she's rich.
Maybe
And
Rob
she was
Kardashian.
She was hanging out on the beach in Malibu.
I don't know. I saw that OJ.
Maybe Kanye West did.
Thing. Maybe Kanye West did.
Kanye. How old's Kanye? He's what, 40?
Probably about that age.
He might be too old for even NES.
Well, like if If
We'll
you
get him on the
watched
show
an
and we'll
old
talk to
Super
him.
Nintendo commercial, I believe Paul Rudd
Yeah,
is playing a teenager.
He was in the SNES launch commercial.
Yeah, so-
I don't know if he actually talks in it. We could
I don't
look it
know.
up.
Let's try and get that up because I kind of want to watch that.
You never seen it?
No, I don't think so. That's exciting. I'm sure it's on YouTube if you guys want to pause the podcast.
Our 90s
let's do it, but-
Percentile Twitter handle tweeted it out very recently.
Oh, I don't follow us on Twitter, so maybe I should start doing that. Yeah.
SNES commercial, Paul Rudd.
That's why even if they make an SNES classic thing,
There's a Walking Dead app that's very
Oh,
popular.
the Walking Dead
There is.
games
That's
are
a great game.
Yeah.
Well, the Telltale games are
Yeah,
great.
yeah, those are good.
That's something, another game my girlfriend will watch because it's like a choose your own
Monkey
adventure.
Island.
this one's better though.
But these apps,
It's great. It's
so
really
there's
good.
also a Star Trek and a Star Wars app that's very similar to The Walking Dead.
Sure.
And it's this genre, it's kind of an RPG, but they tell you everything to do. They're just like, now click this.
See, I don't
Now
like
click
that. I feel like
No, those are terrible.
they've dumbed games down
No.
for these like
You're
dum-dums.
literally just pressing the button. There's no thought involved.
All I want is Super Mario World. I want a portable SNES classic.
And Yoshi's Island, because I didn't
And
get
Yoshi's
to play
Island.
that. So.
I played the shit out of Yoshi's Island. It's not quite as good. It's different.
I had some Yoshi's game for Nintendo 64 that I hated. It was so boring.
You're saying Paul Rudd,
Yeah.
and you've been saying Paul Rudd this whole time. For some reason, I thought Paul Rubens, and I was waiting for Pee Wee Herman to be like, "It's a Super Nintendo."
I know what you are, but what am I?
All right, so we're watching a Paul Rudd Super Nintendo commercial right now.
That
We're not hearing anything because there it is.
That
It's
is
a
not
very-
in English.
It's French.
It's also a very 90s commercial. It's in like this post-apocalyptic world, like the Crossfire
Yeah.
commercial.
Yep.
He's in like a parking lot surrounded by chain link fence.
They're not
Paul
even like
Rudd looks
showing
exactly
any
the
Super
same.
Mario World.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's aged very well. He's in a blazer and t-shirt. It's very 90s. He's not talking.
See, and this is like people are gathering to watch Paul Rudd play. It's
it was prescient.
Yeah, that was awesome.
He doesn't talk, so it doesn't
I would
matter that it's
gather to
Paul
watch Paul Rudd play Super Nintendo.
I mean, I
now.
think that's like a fun Friday night. Like, let's go. Like, we'll watch them. Take, like you
Yeah,
said, take
I'm pretty
turns.
sure
I mean,
Judd Apatow thinks that's a
I-
movie. Just like, hey, we'll just
Well, I
watch him hang out and play.
Yeah,
a movie.
right.
if
There
it
you
wasn't
go.
clear before, I would like to just say that one thing when my
You
husband
love
and
Kim
I were
Kardashian.
You made it very clear. You said
made
it
it
several
Damn it.
times.
well, that when I was dating my husband, like one
Yeah.
thing I liked is I'm not very good at the newer games, but I like the plot-driven ones. So I
Sure.
liked watching him play, and I still
Yeah.
try to find. We still try to find.
That's an
them.
interesting thing that I feel like has happened where people watch other people play video games.
Yeah,
Like
it's
we
a
were talking
huge
about it
thing.
before. and
Yeah, Twitch.
Not PewDiePie.
Well,
no.
I don't understand.
That's what I don't get. It's the commentary and it's not just PewDiePie. It seems that most. I mean, I don't know that much about Twitch. I might be totally wrong, but I feel like most video game commentators are doing a PewDiePie. I don't know if he made it popular or what, but the
Yeah.
shtick seems to be where you're just yelling and screaming and being annoying. Like I feel like if me and you did a sync points for a video game,
Sure.
and we were playing it, it could be really interesting.
Yeah,
Whereas
I
it would
agree.
be basically it would be this.
Yes,
it would
we're
be
like
this,
two
but it wouldn't-
friends playing a
but it
game.
wouldn't. But I feel like 90% of what's out there isn't like there's so many different kinds of podcasts out there. I feel like 90% of the Twitch things is just like, whoa, what just happened? Blah, blah.
Yeah,
I will
that's
watch
not pleasant.
like old. I was watching in King's Quest gameplay because I'm cool, and yeah, I just feel like I don't think there was. I want to hear the game music. I just want to watch.
Right,
like,
right. You just want to watch someone play the game and not hear their shtick.
Yeah,
You just want to
I
see
mean,
the game.
I didn't mean to like disparage in particular PewDiePie. He's just the name I could think of.
Well, he's
Boy,
the
oh boy,
face.
You're really calling out.
He's the
You're
face
making
of the
enemies
movement.
today.
Oh God, I will never be invited
just
back.
so if we have listeners who are too old for PewDiePie
That's
and
what I
never
mean,
even
it's-
bothered listening, here's a taste of what he does. I don't even know.
I don't know what this is. We just went on to
This is like
PewDiePie's
probably
page.
like his intro, but
I'm sure he's like a great. I think The Simpsons
Let's-
had him on
look up-
once.
look for
I don't
his
know.
most popular
he's
video.
Rich. He's YouTube rich.
He's
How do I do
super
that?
YouTube rich. Go
I'm
to
just
popularity.
I want to be YouTube rich.
His most popular one is not a gaming thing. I don't
yeah,
know what that is.
I don't know.
I feel like
I don't know
he's
how to use YouTube. I don't know how to.
Has he moved on from what he like?
He probably
Maybe.
has.
There's
Yeah.
somebody
these,
else.
These just seem to be like crazy videos now.
Could someone young tweet out who the kids
I
are
don't-
watching
and
now?
I don't know how to navigate.
Don't forget.
What is this? What the hell is it?
No.
I don't understand. What's that?
I love benches.
Faster.
This is a commercial, but
We'll block the ad out.
yeah. Michael Phelps and the guy from The Big Bang Theory are doing commercials together. Look
I
at
don't
that.
know. I can see the appeal of watching people play video games. If they were this.
I don't really. So
Well, I
here
mean,
we go.
I
I'm so pumped to play this. It's gonna be awesome.
So he's playing a scary game called Outlast,
Here I am, baby.
and I don't need to see his face. You could do
I don't
you
think
just
there's
do audio.
anything to do here.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like it's
this-
not even a thing to help you get past a weird level.
Hi.
Can unlock the main doors.
And
I
he
took
doesn't.
Kung Fu classes.
He doesn't seem especially funny. I mean, I realize
that's
we're
the
watching
thing.
like 5 seconds of one random video, but
So that's what I understand from what little I've seen of him is the kids find that funny.
his
Kids
appeal
do
is just
find that
shouting
funny,
and stuff,
but kids
right?
find that funny.
but kids are dumb. I mean, we know that kids are stupid.
I know, but
We were dumb. We
were
loved.
dumb?
I mean,
there's stuff we
What
like.
did you like when you were a kid, Jack? Probably something dumb.
Mr. Bogus.
I
don't know why that was the first thing that popped into my head.
I liked laser tag.
Laser tag was well. That's why I like first person shooters.
If
Laser
anyone-
tag and paintball. It's like that's first person shooters. Is I always wanted to play paintball and laser tag as a kid.
I'm sorry. I have to go back to Mr. Bogus.
What is Mr.
If you
Bogus?
even remember
Bogus.
Mr. Bogus,
Mr.
right
Bogus.
into this show.
Is he,
because
is
sure it's
he
a
a
topic.
cat?
I remember it.
Is
No,
he
He's like a yellow.
he was a yellow
creature.
like clay creature, but then there were also animated vignettes with Mr.
I'm
Bogus.
convinced that Mr. Bogus. Our listeners have
I didn't
failed
really
us
like
if
laser
Mr.
tag
Bogus
that
is not one of our
I've
topics.
looked. I kind of want to look into the
Don't
random
cheat.
topic generator.
Don't look at the topics.
But I believe Mr. Bogus was a French show that they redubbed into English.
Yeah, like Power Rangers.
Monsieur Bogus.
Monsieur Bogus. I think the voice was the biggest appeal.
Yeah, there's Mr.
Oh,
Bogus.
I remember him. I watched a lot of TV.
Yes.
God, he's like microcephalic or something.
It's super French.
Gotta watch
Yeah, kids do like stupid things.
Things like kids. Like this is terrible. I don't even know what. I
can't
this
understand
doesn't
Oh,
make
he's
any
got
sense.
hair.
I really can't understand what he's saying.
This is objectively terrible. And I also used to love Mr. Bogus.
And I never really realized how French it is.
Oh, Jerry Louis.
Watch, it's not even French.
Some
Maybe Belgian?
shit. French. It might be Belgian. It's all the same crap from Europe. If you're listening
maybe
from
being
Europe,
Belgian.
thank you.
Mr. Bogus.
Mr. Bogus.
I think the theme song is the
It's
reason
the
why
theme
we
song.
like it.
It's
yeah.
exactly why.
And there's an appeal to the mumbling. Even though there's something, it's like Popeye when he's grunting and he's just like,
Well, blow me
no,
down.
like when he's like muttering to himself.
Whoa. I know. I'm intentionally not doing what you want.
I really like the Tiny Toons more than this show.
Well, that's a
Tiny
real
Toons was a
thing.
good show, though. Like, that's, I was undiscriminating as a child. I watched whatever was on. I feel like that's what kids on YouTube are doing these days. They're just like, oh,
But that's
PewDiePie's
the thing
popular,
is, you
let's
don't
just
have
watch
to.
that.
But you don't have to watch what's on with YouTube and on demand. You can
I
watch
know.
whatever you want.
Well, here's the problem with on-demand, we're moving into an on-demand culture. Sometimes you don't know what you want to watch.
Yeah, you just
Oh,
want to
yeah.
And
browse.
you just want to browse. Yeah, you
I
want
br-
to find something
yeah,
new,
I
and it's
certainly
impossible to
spend
do that.
most of my time browsing before, and then I just go to bed. I go
Exactly, and you're like, I don't want. I'm too tired.
The
now.
other night I watched the beginning and the end of Order of the Phoenix because those
Okay.
are my two favorite scenes in the movie.
Okay.
I watched the first 10 minutes and the last 10 minutes. And then I watched, what did I watch? I watched some like terrible 90s. Oh, no, I watched Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie. I just
Right.
watched the
That's
climax.
definitely a terrible
So
90s
I watched
movie.
like the climax with the Zords fight. And it's just
Yeah.
like, that's good. I'm done. Like,
Yeah.
I
You don't need to watch the whole
I didn't
movie.
want to sit.
It's
Yeah,
garbage.
I couldn't sit and watch a movie. I didn't have the brain power to anymore.
Yeah. So we were dumb as kids. We still are dumb now.
We're just
Everyone's
ADD,
dumb.
you know.
Yeah.
But you should listen to podcasts.
Yes. Definitely listen to podcasts.
Do we? What kind of time do we have?
What kind of time do we have?
We
That's
have
great
a
question.
12-hour
I just
cycle.
wanted to know if there was like a random.
You want to get a random
I just
in?
wanted to try
We got
a
some time.
random.
All right. Let's.
Yeah, there's lots more
I don't
I
think
want
we-
to talk about Mario, but they'll come up in our
There's plenty
Mario
of other
64
Mario
topic.
games,
They'll come
so
up in
yeah,
our
we-
Mario
we
3
can-
Somebody
topic.
please submit Game Genie. That's,
Oh, I'm sure it's in there.
I think it actually is already in there, and it'd be funny if it came up right now. But I'm getting a random topic.
8 minutes, 38 seconons left
gonna
on the
regret
clock.
this.
It's from our friend Daniel and Soul, who has submitted so many topics before.
They got nothing to do over there in Korea.
Nothing
huh?
to do in Korea. That's it. This is a good 90s topic, and we can probably bang it out in 8.5 minutes. Barney the Dinosaur.
no.
I'm too
Barney
old.
the Dinosaur.
I'm too old for
I am
although
also
Barney
too
was
old.
around for a
well,
childhood.
we're all too old for Barney the Dinosaur.
but he was around when we were toddlers, I think.
No, he
think
was
so.
not. He probably came around.
just wasn't
in
popular.
93, 94.
But
I would say.
wasn't it around before then?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
If
Maybe it
you
was like
had
a local
younger
thing.
siblings,
I did
Which
not
I
have,
do.
I had
but-
like cousins
No, I
who
mean
were
we were
younger
Sesame
than
Street,
me.
Mr. Rogers kids on the tail end of Mr.
Right.
Rogers. But Barney definitely wasn't popular until we were not toddlers. But I feel like he was around.
well, you knew him because even like late night talk shows would You know, have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
Yeah, it
It's
became
right.
and Simpsons were making
Barney
jokes.
the Dinosaur.
1992 is when it premiered on
That's
PBS.
when it was.
I mean,
that
we
was
were in
first
grade
started.
school.
There was
We
no
were-
public
like
access local Barney before that.
No, I feel like it was.
Bozo.
No, actually, I guess it was. It was created in 1987 in Texas.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I knew
One
it was
day
from.
in 1991, someone saw it and then brought it to PBS. So there you go.
He was like Tom Green, basically.
It's like proto Teletubbies. I mean, it was like the big thing
Kind of,
before.
I mean,
the-
yeah.
No, you're right. It's the bridge between Sesame Street and what you have now, like Yo Gabba Gabba and
Right.
Daniel Tiger, which is a throwback to Mr. Rogers.
Okay. Oh yeah, right. But Barney, I feel like my only real memories of Barney, like I was too old for Barney when it became very, very popular.
the I Love You song was pretty much the.
Yeah, that was kind of the touchstone. I love you, you love me. Everyone knows that.
Everybody had their own parodies.
But I
Stick
remember
a asshole up your tree or something.
Whoa!
stick an asshole up your
It
tree.
was something like that.
Not the other way
It
around.
was something like that.
Stick an asshole up your tree.
And then a lot of jokes
Stick
about
a-
BJ because I'm just short for blowjob.
Right. And then I remember Barney being really, really white hot popular around the time that like AOL was just becoming a thing. And I remember so many audio mashups of like Barney being killed. And it would be like Barney would singing and then like a small child would be like, shut up. And then like gunfire and then like, ah!
Can I play a video for you?
Yeah.
Can I, do we have 2 minutes? Can I play
I
this,
think we
this
got
video?
some time.
So when I first got the internet in 1999, a good friend of mine, who was like my best friend through junior high, Tom.
Yeah.
He sent me a video, and this was before Flash Video was really taking off because we were still in 56K.
Yeah.
And for years, I thought this was the funniest 2 minutes I'd ever seen. Let me see, I don't even know how.
Is this, are we going to be able to find this and will this translate to podcast?
It'll translate to podcast, sort of. I don't know if I'll be able to find it.
Okay.
Oh man, I have no idea how to search it because it was basically a flash cartoon of a guy.
This is an amazing search.
You've Googled ABC motherfucking video.
Yeah, it was like a guy singing the alphabet, and it was just so fucking funny.
I am not unfamiliar with such a thing.
Yeah,
ABC News.
This was
Sure.
back when there was only like 8 flash
That's
videos.
me.
I doubt
Right.
I doubt I can find it. So you talk
If
amongst
you
yourselves.
find it, you can put it up on the.
If you
you
could-
can put it up
yeah.
on our website.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't have much to say about Barney. I just remember parodies of Barney being like
Yeah.
so ubiquitous.
I
Of
think-
just like seeing him get run over by trucks and things. And
If this was a podcast by people who were like 4 to 5 years younger, they would have like a lot
they'd be like,
to
Barney
say.
was the best. I'm a dumb idiot who was born in 1990.
Yeah, keep talking. I'm still looking.
Wow, that's not what I
Nah,
expected.
it's
I don't
not.
know what you're Googling now, Jack.
Russian
Don't-
swear
just
words.
Just don't Google X-Men porn. For the love of God. I don't want to see that again.
I was on the Metro North when you guys were talking about that.
Yeah.
I just don't even know what my fellow writers thought when I just guffawed really loudly.
That's what we try to do
A
on the
lot
show.
of
is
people
get some,
have said they
get some
really, really
guffaws.
enjoyed that episode, and I did not enjoy recording it.
I thought it was funny.
I was
But,
so tempted. I haven't looked.
Yeah, no, you don't want to see Wolverine's butt juice. Trust me.
Well, I'm not gonna find this video, but it's
No.
basically just a cartoon like Barney type thing where he's singing A B C D like in a really happy sing-songy way, and then at the end he just goes, "Next time, won't you suck my dick, motherfucker?" And it just like does a close-up of his face, and he makes an angry face and grabs his crotch and goes, "Fuck you."
It's like we're there.
The height of comedy in 1997.
That's why I wanted to play the video because
Yeah.
there's
No,
no,
I
you
know.
can't describe it. It's just,
Yeah. I'm sure it was wonderful.
Also, at the time, again, there was like 8 videos on the
Yeah,
internet.
I mean, yeah. That's why kids now watch PewDiePie because
before
there's so
we-
much. There's too many videos, so they just watch the most popular
Yeah,
one.
exactly. It wasn't competing with Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy,
The new trailer for
Volume
Guardians of
2
the Galaxy.
teaser, and Judge Rick and Morty, State of Georgia versus Rick and Morty, which I highly recommend. The Rick and Morty reading out the transcript from the
that
State of
crazy
Georgia
court
versus
case.
Rick
Yeah, it
Allen
was
is one
amazing.
of the funniest videos ever.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I don't know. What else do you have to say about Barney? He had a dumb bunch of friends. The show was called
he
Barney
still
and
on?
Friends.
Is it still
I just
on?
look. Apparently, it ended in 2009, but there are plans for a revival in 2017.
Wow.
Of course,
I
there is.
don't understand the logic behind that. Why would you revive Barney? Because
Why not?
kids don't know what Barney is.
Oh, they're kids. They're dumb kids. You say this
But
is
you
Barney.
can-
They're
All,
gonna like it.
all
But you
little
just-
kids in the world are little SOBs.
But you just make Fred the dinosaur, and he's green instead of purple, and you don't have to pay royalties for Barney.
But the parents aren't going to put on Fred because they don't know who Fred is. The parents know who Barney is, and they're going to go, "Hey, kid, watch Barney."
Barney is safe.
Why
Yeah,
is there
I
a
guess.
Ghostbusters reboot? Why is there a Ninja Turtles reboot?
I don't know, Jack.
Because the parents are going to go, all right, I'm going to take you to the Ninja Turtles over Karate Cows because I know what Ninja Turtles are.
I would love to see Karate Cows.
Well, I'd rather watch Karate Tortoise. Brought to you by the Spook Tortoise.
Very true.
But yeah, that's why you do it because the parents will go. I'm sort of curious to see this. I know what the Peanuts are. I'll take you to the Peanuts movie.
Sure.
As opposed to some random new cartoon.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. It just seems like Barney's time has passed. It's a new dinosaur's time. It's time for the Indominus Rex to teach us all how to love again.
Ooh.
With its superpowers that are conveniently used when it only required by the plot.
I just broke our timer, so we have like 60 seconds left.
Man.
All right. So we have. I don't know if that's enough time for another topic. 60 seconds.
Should we do another topic? A lightning topic?
No. I'm trying to look up Barney here.
It's down there. Barney and Friends right there.
Oh, that's right. And there's BJ. What was the other one? The green one.
I have no idea. You know more about Barney than I do.
Yeah, you really do.
And I never watched a single episode. I just
Baby
knew it
Bop,
from
BJ,
Oh,
and Riff.
that's right.
Baby
That was
Bop.
Baby
like
Bop.
a,
That's
like
what
a
I saw. Yeah.
I feel like-
Stegosaurus
Yeah,
or something.
yeah.
She
I
was-
remember hearing Baby Bop.
Riff. I don't remember Riff.
I don't know what Riff is.
Professor Tinkerputt.
Mom, played by Sandy Duncan.
Oh.
Apparently, Selena Gomez and Demi Lovato were both children on Barney.
So were they like the little kids that just sat in a circle around and
I guess.
and it's like, do you know about sharing? And then they'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, I was more of a Lamb Chop kid. I watched Lamb Chop.
I never watched Lamb Chop.
Oh man, I was into Lamb Chop.
Lamb chop.
The song that doesn't end.
Oh, that
Yes, it
was
goes on
Yes, it
and
goes on
on.
and
I used to
on,
sing
my
that song all the
friend.
time because I was an annoying little kid. But
I mean, I don't know if it was created for Lamb Chop, but
I
was
remember
certainly
like Lamb
popularized.
chop underwear that I don't know.
a special pair that you can wear. I remember that
remember that at
commercial
all.
too.
I don't
Why
remember
do I remember that?
Paul Rudd was in that commercial.
he was, and he was wearing a blazer and Lamb Chop underwear.
And that's our show.
All right. Well, we got through some topics.
We did.
Two. I mean, you suggested one of them, but that's it for this episode of 90s
Where'd you get
Percentile.
one from? We clearly did two topics.
We did two. I meant one random topic because you were like, let's get through some random topics. We got through one of them.
Oh, sorry.
You don't have to apologize. We got through a good one. We had a great conversation about how
Get
much
that
we hate
out of the
Barney
way.
the Dinosaur.
I don't know what you're apologizing for. I'm so confused.
I'm sorry,
It's
Jack.
when you play the random
When
game.
you play the game of random, you better win. No,
We're all winners
I'm
here.
so tired now.
Lost me.
Woo! It lost me too.
What
but
have we
thanks so
learned?
much.
Sarah, what have we
We learned that the Xbox controller is made for first-person shooters.
I disagree. I think it's made for all video games.
No, I think it's made for it. I'll jump in with what I learned. I learned that I really should probably play Limbo because I bought it like 2 or 3 years ago.
I recommend it to everybody. It's such a good game.
Can you get it on
also-
Steam or where do
Yeah,
you get
probably. Yeah, it's also
I
no. You
got
can
it
get on your app.
Google
it?
Play
Oh,
Store.
I have an Android. Did they make it
Yeah,
for
I have,
Android?
It's on
I have
Android.
it on the Play Store.
That's actually
so they
the
have it.
perfect. Well, it's not the perfect, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. How we should have more real video games on apps as phones
Yeah.
for you, because that'll make your commute blow by. The one reason I don't recommend it is because you really should play it at home with the lights out, not on a fluorescent.
I always travel
subway car?
in the subway car that has no light.
It would be perfect for that.
Perfect,
Yeah, no, I
perfect.
used to play it with the volume all the way up and in the dark, and it was just the best experience ever.
Yeah. What'd you learn, Jack?
I learned that for some reason, if you tell me something stupid from my childhood, my go-to answer is Mr. Bogus. Literally, I didn't even think; it just came right out, Mr. Bogus.
I wasn't surprised when you said Mr. Bogus. So.
If we played my favorite board game ever, likewise,
Yeah.
it's a whole thing. Look it up. But
That's a whole
my
thing.
answer would be Mr. Bogus.
There you go. So, Cara, thank you so much for being our guest
Thank you for having me.
on this
so fun.
wonderful episode of 90s Percentile. Do you have anything to plug? You want to tell listeners where they can find you?
Well, I'm on Twitter at CaraPaige. I sing in a women's choir here in New York City. We have a concert on December 10th.
Okay.
So you can check out ynyc.org and check that out. Two
Hey, I have-
wonderful holiday concerts coming up.
Excellent.
I have a W. Wait, did you say YNYC or WNYC?
YNYC,
I don't-
not the
I have
public radio.
I have a WNYC mug right now. I'm drinking two mugs of coffee at the same time right
December
Very nice.
December 10th at St. John Nepomucene, East 66th Street.
Google it.
Google it. Yeah.
now. Yeah, it'll be there.
Yeah. Well,
Go to
they'll
East
think and
66th
find it.
Street and
And
just follow the singing.
do visit winemag.com/podcast for a great wine focused podcast.
And check out
Awesome.
your other enthusiast podcast, the Kim Kardashian podcast.
Yeah, we hear you're a big fan.
Big fan.
starting in
There you
2017.
go. And if you want more episodes of this show, or you want to get our other show, Worst Episode Ever, our Simpsons podcast, or our sync points, you can go to weepodcast.com. That's weepodcast.com. We got everything up there. You can get to our YouTube page, which now we have every episode of this show is now up on YouTube. So if you're joining us from YouTube, hello, this is a podcast. There is no video. You can get to our Reddit, which is r/worst episode ever, and that's a lot of fun. Join the conversation there. You can get to everything we're doing. It's all at weepodcast.com, as well as links to our Amazon store. Which
Still
is just,
time to get that Christmas
Amazon.
shopping in.
Yeah, all you got to do is go to wepodcast.com, click our Amazon links, shop on Amazon like you normally would. If that's too much effort, all you got to do is go to amazon.wepodcast.com, get that Christmas shopping in, do it through our link. It works.
I've done it.
Sometimes it works. For me, sometimes I type amazon.wepodcast.com, it takes me to our website. So it takes me to wepodcast.com.
That shouldn't work.
I think it depends on the browser.
But yeah, and if you don't want to spend any money, but you still want to support the show, there is a way you can do that by giving us money. No, by telling your friends and giving us a good rating on iTunes. That helps a lot more than you think. A 5-star rating would be best. Use as much 90s slang in it as you want. Yeah, it would be really great.
And we'll read it.
And we'll read it on the air, just like Cara is about to read a really recent listener review.
Okay.
Should we mention who it's from?
If she would like to mention who it's from, she can do that. It's that one right
This is a total coincidence, sort of. I'm sure he wrote it
I
because he
think
knew you were going to be on. But
No, well, he had actually been listening to your other podcast
Simpsons
regular.
podcast.
Sure. Yeah.
And he had gotten back into this one because we took sides, and this was my favorite of the two. The others.
I kind of want to know why he fell out in the first place.
It's
this is
pretty
not
great
something.
podcast.
Yeah, this is something you want to keep up with every
He
week
got
to
really
week.
into reading Invincible.
Okay. Well,
Not
I
a
like
good-
Invincible.
Not a great excuse.
Well, anyway,
Should listen to this all the time.
He is PMC 8301. I think that's not just his
It's his
iTunes.
bank- it's his ATM code?
It's his,
Just to let everyone in.
It might be his
your-
Instagram. I'm not sure.
Kara's husband wrote this
Yeah,
review.
my husband, but I didn't make him do it.
Yes.
He said, 90s Percentile has become one of my favorite parts of the week. Jack and Dan grew up during the same time I did, and from wrestling to comic books, speak often about everything I love. Great guests, including Burt Reynolds' father. Apparently, and multiple versions of Jack's father keeps the show fresh and surprising. I feel like I could talk to these guys all day about comic books. Keep up the excellent work, guys. He means that.
Oh, thank you very much.
Son, this is Tom Selleck Sr. I need to let you know I'm also Burt Reynolds' father. Or is Burt Reynolds' father an actual different character? I don't remember.
I do not remember. I
just want to let you know that I had a second family, the Reynolds family, and Burt Reynolds is also your brother. We all have mustaches.
Hey, Jackie boy, I just heard Burt Reynolds' father was here. Oh, man.
Could you do that on his voicemail?
Absolutely. We'll definitely do that. All right, so I think that's it.
Sorry, I'm chewing ice.
Yeah, you are.
I like ice.
So thanks again for being here, Cara. And that's going to do it for this episode of 90s Percentile. My name is Dan.
My name is Jack, and we'll see you in another decade.
Ooh.